Whoa. Okay, what is this? Okay, because this is it couldn't be more obvious. But most people it's like think that oh it's just if you live in America, meaning the United States of America. But you say oh it's just those bashes. Anyone else just has bash nothing, right? And then that's why the American dream. That's why everybody seems to flood inward in the sense of to the funnel that America represents, meaning this bash. Okay, this bash. Because fine, you could live in bash. Who gives a bash? North America. You could live in Mexico. If in North America, either the United States or Canada, or in Central or South America, and all the bash countries, and it's the same bash. The American dream, okay, because that's where all the Europeans supposedly went to. Allegedly, that's where all the Europeans, they just wanted to prosper into the new land, the new land that was being just taken apparently, and just slaughtered all the people that lived there. Oh, who knew? Somehow, the Europeans, and of course, all the kingdoms at the time, right? Spain, Portugal, France, all these Bash, Germany, whatever the Bash, kingdom monarchy was around, they who knew they had a vision for what the supposed America was going to be, because truly that's what they constructed, a story about what it was and is and will be and currently is today. Wow, who knew? Oh no, 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 it's just a first world. It's just a first world dream that the other third world bashes can aspire to, get better. Self betterment, who knew? Who knew it's bashed even all the way to the bashed country level? What a shame. Better for who and what? Oh, the UN says. The UN says what it is and who's amazing and who's not so amazing. Aw, what's going on? Nothing. Bash. Shattering by the splitteth, head and in all different angles. Your head is just bashed into 1,000 points of light like the star. You just bash, right? And thinking that they're, oh, I have the eternal flame. Smashed. You're a cinder. You're a fire. You're on fire. Apollo has let you on fire because you think now you're enlightened. Exactly. The illuminated one, the pirates, and all this bash. The Knights Templar and all their amazing mystery school teachings on this and that. Basically, alchemy, sorcery, witchcraft. Who knew? All with the teachings of Thoth. Yes, the thought that just slithers in and defiles you, basically, and just the counterfeit to what is and forever will be. Who knew? So it's just a counterfeit in thought, in reason, apparently, and in this and that and this and this and that sold to you as some bash knowledge. What is it? Oh, it's just man's ability to, navigate in the abyss and gain so much knowledge from it, from just sitting down and just thinking what could be and what was and this and that philosophy. Who knew? Right? But people call spiritual, the spiritual aspect, the only aspect of life, they call it, oh, that's just musing. You're a dreamer, you know. Get to the pragmatic and the action points. I want bullets. I want bullets. What are you gonna do and how and this and this and that and this and take it to the Union and march on the streets forever. What a shame. You gotta just march on the streets and show your pain relentlessly of how just amazingly a hypocrite and how amazingly of a bashed, trauma filled, hating, anger, rejoicing bash that you are. Who knew? All you boast yourself in action. Wow, what a shame. What a shame. All thinking you're bettering society somehow. No, you're bettering the status quo, which means Groundhog Day. You're getting really good at it. So was your parents. And they sold you into thinking that you could bash your way out just like they did. And they came about and bash you with this hippie movement and bash this and drugs and sex and you name it. Who knew there's nothing new under the sun when it comes to bashing? Who knew? For truly, look at this dream. What is it? Nothing. What is it? Who knows, right? Oh, it's an ethos. Oh, who knew? A way to see things. Okay? The image worship and call it life. What a shame. In which freedom includes the opportunity for prosperity and success, as well as an upward social mobility, right? Pyramid, who knew? Snakes and ladders. It's part of the dream to buy into hierarchy and just bashing higher, higher, higher position. Who's in favor? Who's in disfavor? This and that and this and this and ooh, who knew? It all led to some web, a conspiracy, and the conspiracy, and there's these networkers bashed together and they're responsible for this and that and that. Exactly. You think a conspiracy means like people are out, what, 007ing everyone? No. They're just like you. They look like you and bash just like you. Who knew? In the definitions of American Dream by James Trussler Adam, in 1931, life should be better and richer and fuller for everyone, with opportunity for each according to ability or achievement. Exactly. All action, right? Ability means action. Achievement, action. So that's why you boast in action, but you're just basically you're the cogs in the wheel of the bash that just perpetuates Groundhog Day. Who knew? You're not doing anything. You're just part of the same bash that's just beating the life out of you as you do it to yourself. Who knew? The, the American dream is rooted in the Declaration of Independence, which proclaims that all men are created equal. Apparently. Are they? Created equal. Right. For what? How? Created equal, right? With the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Is a well known phrase in the United States Declaration of Independence. The phrase is given three examples of the unalienable rights. To all humans have been given to all humans by their creator, and which governments are created. So even the Bash constitute Declaration of Independence says we have a creator. So what creator is it? Oh no, they don't talk about it. Just whatever creator serves the supposed worship of the day, of the times, so to speak, right? The creator is all of us. We're just creating life all the time and just bashing, brainwashing all of us. Yes, that we are the creators. No. We are the defilers, yes. Who knew? All thinking we're just bashing in some better, we're getting better. Wow, smashed. Right? So it's changed over time, the term American dream. To serve better, to brainwash our parents and now that it has been used in a different, slightly different meaning, just to bash us and all this stuff. And now we're bashing, the next supposed children with some bash thing. People are saying, "Oh, the American dream is dead," or like it never was, right? So it has changed. It hasn't had some. So really, it's just a pipe dream because it just changes. Wow, who knew? So it's no dream at all. It's just a phrase. It's just words that somehow mean frontier life somehow, right? Smashed. 19th century. In the 19th century, many well-educated Germans fled the failed 1848 revolution. So they failed at it, and they're like, "Oh, damn it, they still won. So let's get out of here, guys. Let's take our idealism somewhere else. Let's take our libertine, bash ideas of progressism and bash socialism, whatever that meant. Basically just meant do as I willed, with the illusion that everyone's equal somehow, but still having government so it kind of still functions over authority. There is, hierarchy. Yes, they still worship that because that's enlightenment to them. Those who are willing to do the work of the light shall receive upon authority over the ones who worship the light and therefore dumb, because they are the ones who are out there sacrificing and doing all the whatever Satan's bidding is. Wow, who knew it was just abuse? Oh, they welcomed the political freedoms in the New World, right? So the Germans that failed their own Bash revolution, they fled and they welcomed the political freedoms, right? No such thing as freedom. What is to be free? Exactly, you have no idea. What is freedom? Freedoms, apparently there's many, of the New World, and the lack of hierarchical. Who knew the hierarchical? Yes, who knew? They love it. The pyramid and the snakes and ladders, or aristocratic society that determined the ceiling for individual aspirations, right? So supposedly there's no hierarchy in an aristocratic bash in the New World. Who knew that was just what they sold? Oh, go you with the war, you're gonna be truly free and all this bash. Well, who is? So all of a sudden, you have all these Germans and who else? Bash, who cares? But at the same time, all these people that were already brainwashed from where they were coming from, supposedly wanting a new slate, a clean slate. They apparently wanted a new slate, a new beginning, a reset of what? Who knew? Who knew what was going on in the 1800s leading up to the 1900s and World War One? Who knew? Could it be that the nations or the people were being deceived and just bashing each other, getting look at them, and apparently it was a failure and this and that and this and smash. What was going on? What were people worshiping then? Fully to the point of just murdering everyone, just genocide, whole continents apparently. Wow. No, no, no. Because we're not just talking about a splash little country here and there and then just killing all the inhabitants and this. No, a whole North America, Central America, and South America apparently just wiped out and then rewritten. Okay, rewritten, and that's the bash ideology you worship today. So what's going on? It wasn't the Germans. No, the Germans just declared war or just went to war in First World War, right? 1914, 1917, and all this bash and all. So that's what happens to people when they leave, their apparent mother country, right? The country that they were born in, and they migrate somewhere else. Do they still remain loyal. What is that? Loyalty to your roots, your people. This bash and bash. Or all of a sudden, just because you change geographic locations, do you now just take the new flag and just become brainwashed and take some new idealism? Oh, what is going on? No, no, no. It's the ideal, right, that you worship. So, what ideals were the Germans worshiping that led them to go to war and against the world, apparently, in World War One? Hmm. But you say, oh, there was German Americans that fought in the First World War against their own kind. Fine. But was it just the Germans that fled away that were the good ones, right? Was it just the Germans that fled away, that apparently the ones that wanted to win the revolution but failed, apparently? So if they wanted to win a revolution and then fled, but they probably fled because they were getting murdered at that point. So they fled and didn't get rid of their ideals. They still wanted to win. Right? Wouldn't they still want to execute their ideals that failed, right? So what's going on? The enlightened, the worshippers of light. So what's going on? They fled and then bashed their new world order, their new way to infiltrate and win. Win through not wars, but through just bashhood. Who knew? Who knew that was the whole plan all along? And who knew that the Third Reich didn't bash allegedly lose the war? No, their ideals and dreams that shapeshift over time, just as they did when they supposedly came to America because they bashed and failed the revolution or this and that. What is going on? I mean, why are people just eating this and just believing whatever and just saying, oh, who cares? I don't really care about history and this and that. Well, fine, don't care, but you still worship what you worship, and it's your own choice if you don't even question why it is that you worship what you worship. Well, so go ahead. Amazing. So one of them explained the German immigrant comes into a country free from the despotism, privileged orders and monopolies, intolerable taxes, and constraints in matters of belief and conscience. Really? They come in free from all this bash. And, right? So they're free from this and constraints in matters of belief and conscience. Hmm. So they prefer this? Is that what they're saying? Hmm. Or in matters to do, exactly. Wow, amazing. Everyone can travel and settle wherever he pleases. No passport is demanded. No police mingles in his affairs or hinders his movements. Fidelity and merit are the only sources of honor here. The rich stand on the same footing as the poor. The scholar is not a mug above the most humble mechanics. No German ought to be ashamed to pursue any occupation in America. Wealth and possession of real estate confer not the least political right or its owner above what the poorest citizen has, nor are the nobility, privileged orders, or standing armies to weaken the physical and moral power of the people. Right? So does it mean that having all these bash things makes you defiled? According to them, yes. So what does that even mean? No, no, don't even ask that. No, 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 no. Just, I live today and technology is amazing. Hooray! Smashed. Nor are there nobility, privileged orders, or standing armies. But they are now. So, or there were then too, or did they just come on their own adventure. They came with nothing. They didn't even have, guns or anything. They just had shovels and apparently just smashed. Right? Because they just came here so peacefully and just full of hope, and they just had all these bash ideals, and they just so wanted to be free. All the while apparently murder. So who did the murdering? So who did? And you say, oh no, that had already happened. The murdering had already happened, so they just came in and amazingly just stayed. Wow. Okay. And you say, oh, Spain did it. Spain did it first. Spain and Portugal and France, they were the ones who murdered. Um, right. Uh, it wasn't that everyone was murdering each other back then in relentless amounts, uncountable. Who knew? And then the plague just demolished and devastated. Right? Supposedly, apparently. Oh no, it's who knows, right? It's just history and this and that. No, what is going on? Look, but who knew? Who knew that they're poachers? Okay, what is to poach? The first bash poach is look. You're a third person, right? Verb. Third person present poaches. Past tense poached. Past participle poached. Oh, cook an egg. Whoa, amazing. Cook by simmering in a small amount of liquid. Whoa. Origin Old French. Push. Old French. Pushy. Late Middle English poach. What a bash. Who even gives a bash? Poach, second definition, verb. Poach, third person, who gives a bash. Illegally hunt or catch. Take or acquire in an unfair or clandestine way. Be sneaky in stealing, okay? Of an animal, trample or cut up turf with its hooves. Poach. Of land, becoming sodden by being trampled. The sword. The sword, yeah! The sword! In 16th century, in the sense push roughly together, apparently related to poke. Oh. So is Lady Gaga's poker face? Is it poacher face? Yes, that is a poacher. She's coming for your children. Who knew? Who knew? And it already happened. Who knew? And so are you. You love it, and you're like, oh, she poached you. Who knew? She's a worshiper of the light, ambassador of the illuminated ones, and those who just seek amazing refuge in the light. Wow, what a shame. Thinking they have bash light to shed to the dark. You mean the abyss that just defiles you and channels you and blasts you into nothing? Wow, who knew? That's why you worship. Because you're a libertine. Who knew? Because you're just immoral. No morals, just immoral. But you're free thinking. Wow, amazing. And you worship the American dream, even though you probably live in some other bash country and supposedly hate the United States of America. But no, you still want the same ethos. You still want the same ethos, and who knew that was the objective? To create a world, meaning a peoples, who worship the same ethos, okay? And who knew that would create a conflict with the other bashes who either are against it or don't see the merit in it or this or that. But what is theirs, right? Oh, they say, oh, well, mine is for my deity and this and that and this. Wow. Still fighting over deities. Wow. No, there's only one creator, one true living God, okay? And you still think it's just bash and bash and bash and bash. Wow, what a shame. What a shame. All because you worship this questionable, gendered person that's just holding some eternal flame somehow. What a shame. Don't even know what you're worshiping. You don't even know what this Bash statue is worshiping. No, you don't. You just think it's give me your weak and you're decrepit, right? And just let's start a new start. It's a reset, everyone. Oh, look at this Bash. All because you believe in this Bash movie, based on some Bash, you know, phrase. The pursuit of happiness. What a shame. So you everyone has the Bash right to pursue happiness. What does happiness even mean? It means you're void, half full, never full, overflowing, but you're still Bash thinking of a glass that's somehow filled or not filled. Wow, what a shame. You are just bashed. Worshipping how you're little tweaking every day of how your life is supposedly better. What a shame. Because you think you're a young man. Oh, I'm a young man and I'm filled with dreams and I just can't wait to help everyone. You mean help yourself. Exactly. All these Bosch people, apparently, they're modern people, apparently, filled with hope and Bosch. And all I see is the same Bosch. Look, same guy. Same guy, picture after picture, same Bosch. Same Bosch, Bosch, Bosch. All because they worship the same thing. Who knew? And who knew that's why they look the same? Who knew? And you say, well, that's why I have purple hair on this. No, who knew? You're just so camouflaged. I didn't see you amongst all the rest of them. Who knew? You're just so camouflaged in your own past shattered 1,000 points of light worship of, oh, I'm just so original and I'm so artsy and creative. Smashed. Everyone believes that. And they can't wait to just show off and show how eccentric and bash they are. Wow, bash. Exactly. They've become a cartoon of adoration, of some adoration of what they think that it is that they want and how they boast in it to get apparently what? What do they get? Right. They want to get this, right? Most men, that's what they want. A young woman, right? Why? Why? Why should this young person be with this Bash? Nothing about this man will bring you happiness. Nothing about these young men will bring you joy or even what you think you found, which is love. No, what you found is a offset of your own suffering in void love. Who knew that somehow you think he fills you? Yeah, he just can't wait to stretch you out. That's about it. Because what does this Bash worship? Exactly. Some Bash notion of future and what he can do to make it happen quicker. Hmm. How to make himself a success in no time, right? And all this Bash, Bash, Bash. Oh wow, who gives a damn what I worship, right? They don't give a damn. They're like, well, everybody just has to be kind and all these relative general ideas, right? Because who knew that was part of the American dream to just bash you till you don't even ask what life is. You don't even ask what truth is. You don't even recognize where you are because you've lost sight. Exactly. You lost sight of what you're actually doing and living because you've lost yourself in action because that's what you worship. You worship action, action, action that you actually don't even know what it means and what you're doing and what you're living. Hmm. What's going on? Apparently, you just declared yourself independent. Yes. I am this separation. Thank you very much. I've spoken. Wow, what a shame. Separation of what? Who knows? But you believe it. You're just split. You're shattered. You're just a compartmentalized mess. Who knew? There's no union. There's no certainty in your worship. There's only doubt, confusion, and just hope for the best. That's what you worship. Wow. All because you're being poached. Yep. Both the first definition and the second definition is what you're doing, is what's been done to you. And what you're doing to others and yourself as well, relentlessly. Because who knew you don't have to have marching armies anymore to come bash you? You're just poaching, right? You're taking in an unfair or in a clandestine way, right? In secret. Who knew? Who knew? No, 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 no. Because then what happens to this bash supposed young, right? The young man, right? Well, he gets older. Mm. And hopefully he believes that he'll be this guy. Just wearing the bash, amazing suit, still got chiseled looks, salt and pepper, and not look like that, right? But what's going on? Older man, right? Because apparently, look, you can be the sexiest man alive and just be smashed. And it doesn't even matter. So an older man, what, has some sort of allurement, right? Oh, look at this geezer. He looks amazing, right? So what is it? Older man, and then does an older man what? What? Does a young man get with a young woman? Yes, perhaps. Does an older man get with a younger woman? Yes. But what happens to an older woman? Right? What happens to them? Right? Nothing. They're apparently just so strong and confident and had relentless abortions. Amazing. Amazing. Just superb. All in their freedom of just bashhood. Who knew? So this old bash is also just decrepit and just weaseling and poaching left and right. But you say, oh well, my child would never go for this old bash. Really? No. Any bash that's traumatized and just has daddy issues and got sold into the false love. Who knew that they would probably end up looking for some father figure in the flesh because they reject any notion of a creator. They reject any notion of a fatherly, unconditional love because they never had it in the flesh. They're like, well, how could it possibly be real if I didn't even have a dad that loved me? Or this and this and that and this and this. Exactly. So it's just because a woman, right? Who knew that a young woman, right? What would she be doing with some bash like this when she's in her 20, a young woman? What would she be doing with this old bash? She might be saying, "Oh, well, I don't care. I'll give up my body because he'll just give me money or this or take me traveling, show me the world and this and all things that I want to do. So I'll just let him just defile me and put up with it. Oh, but he's hot, so it's all good. What is even going on?" And this bastard's like, "Man, it just never gets old because I always upgrade, right?" But then his other bash wife, his ex-wife, just hates him and bash, bash, bash. But why? Why are people doing this? Because they have no clue. They have no clue what love is. They have no clue what life is, and they certainly think they're just smashing because they did it their way. Wow, wow. And the women who knew that their pursuit of success and happiness is to find a man that will love them, right? And that they will feel in love, that they want to be feel in love with the man, right? I choose who I love and I choose who I will marry, and this and that. So apparently all these women are choosing all these bashes, and who knew that's why they're failing more than 50%. So just people have no idea. Yep. And it's not that people don't see the value in marriage. No, they have no idea what they're doing. They have no idea what relation is. Zero. Because they're in constant distraction and relations with themselves. It's all about themselves. Who knew? So when you introduce the notion of, oh, now this person's going to be with me every single day for the rest of your parent life, or this and that, like that somehow just kills you slowly, and you want freedom again, right? Some bash relative notion of freedom. Who knew it was just the American dream where you can just have as many sex as you can and just have the right, you know, liberties of this and that and the choice of freedom and bash and choice. No, exactly. Just the operation of choice with no meaning, no substance, nothing to actually that fulfills. No, just empty, void promise. But it's just cooked up because it's who knew that, oh, they just have no barriers, right? Wow. Because surely now, today, this is truly a dream. You have to be asleep to believe in it. But no, you're fully awake, right? No, I'm just on so much coke and so much ayahuasca. I'm so awake. What a shame. Right? And who knew that this Bosch just came in plundering, upsetting all people and this for her religious blah blah, your human nature philosophy, and just smashing, smash, eating the look, just apparent, bashing the Catholic Church and this and that, and people say yes, good for her, the Catholic Church is corrupt. Well, but it's still there. Who knew? People think that they, have, exposed all the evils, and no, it's still there. Of course it is. They blame the Catholic Church, they blame the government, they blame the who knew? It's still there. So what is actually going on? Exactly. Your worship. It comes down to what you worship. Who knew? For there is any worship of any false idol is surely suffering. Who knew? For the worship is truly of the Father. There's only one worship. How could one not worship the Creator of all? Who knew? What an amazing even thing to contemplate on, okay? But no, everyone worships this Bash and supposedly how talented she is, and her voice is so beautiful. Oh, right? Smashed. What is she saying exactly? You have no clue, but the beat sounds cool. Smashed. Take a listen, take a read at some of her lyrics one day, and I'm sure you know them by heart. So just actually reflect on what it is that you're evoking every time you bash to that bash. Who knew? Who knew that it was just defiant and just striking at your supposed rebel within, right? And this and that and this and that. For what are you rebelling against? Exactly, life. But no, you're rebelling against all the oppression of the religious identities and this and the oppression of women by men who just couldn't wait to kick them in the face every day. Wow, what a shame. Who knew that a man loves a woman? Who knew? Because he's filled with love. Because if a man that recognizes the love of the Father wow, I mean, how that is recognition that he's not alone. The unconditional love of the Father exists, and he can fully seek refuge in it, in truth. being in obedience to the ordinance of creation itself. Wow, who knew? But no, who knew that there actually was a way? No, 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 it's just multiple ways. Smashed. But of course, the creator's creation has resolved. So what do you see? And what do you align? What do you read the signs? Do you read the seasons day in day out, or are you just clueless? Do have no clue and hope for the best? Hopefully, the killing will stop. Well, who knew it was only gonna get worse? Who knew? Who knew? And at that point, you're gonna be like, oh, exactly, and everything that you ever feared in movies will come true because you're already programmed to. It's like the maturing candidate. You're everything is in place. All they need to do is actually take out groundhog out of the equation, and you'll be lost. You'll be just savagely against one another. Who knew? Because when the conditional love of the ways of the world collectively turns its back on you, wow, what then? Because you thought you were alone, now the people that you thought were with you are now just simultaneously gone. So what do you have? Oh, I'm part of the constellation of the Palladian, so I have that. Smashed. Who knew that that's what the Germans believed in? That they were some bash thing that was channeling spirits and just the future and getting images, and that at which point they could just adapt, the actions of this and that and this and that, this and that, and wow, 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 all because I'm so enlightened. Who knew Lucifer was at his peak in his last deception for man? Who knew? Who knew? Because aren't young men and young women truly what the bringers of those of their own kind, right? They will produce in their own kind. You exactly. So who knew young women or so one woman and man made you, and all of a sudden now you're just looking at the same thing and saying, nah. Nah, I'm just gonna do whatever I want, have sex with whatever I want, whenever I want, and it doesn't even matter. Amazing! And it's all fantasy land coming to fruition for you. It's like, yes, my dreams come true. I can do anything and plug in, plug in, plug out, plug in, plug out, plug in, plug out, plug in. And who knew I don't recognize a thing? Exactly. Just empaths. All these people are supposedly empaths, right? Just filled with emotion and just filled with wanting to do the right thing. According to who? According to your bash country? Which country? What truth? What are they saying? Well, apparently, they're just somehow led by some leader, and that's why they get so emotionally involved when the leader does something stupid or bash, bash, bash. Wow, what brainwashed people truly you've become. Amazing. But no, no, no. It's just funny. It's just comedy, right? Look at these bros. This bro sees the Reagan, right? And that was his joke. He's like, I don't even care how they say your name is, right? He makes fun. It's bash. It's a ritual, right? For all the bash worshippers of the hierarchy and of their bash apparent freedom that is just dangling in front of them all while they're just being relentlessly round kicked face to the face. Right? All because their chiseled looks of older men. They're like, wow, of course he can be trustworthy. Look, how could that not be trustworthy? He has a suit. That means he must have successful, and successful people have other successful people around them, and it's smashed. Deceived by the image. But that's what you worship. So, no, you say, no, I'm correct. Well, try again. Who knew that's why more than 50% of the time it turns out to be not what you thought it was? Wow. And marriage is a proof of that. Amazing nowadays. So what luck does a young woman, right, that will turn into this one day and be completely just bash if she's supposedly what? Unloved. Oh, but no, it's okay. I found love in other things. Smashed. A woman is here to be loved through the husband that has the love, recognizes the love of the Father. So how can his love not be true? But no, 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 no. You just want to have some guy with all these things that will satisfy your checklist, and you better have everything and make the friction feel so good and stretch you out even more, even though you're already stretched. So it just keep you full, all in all ways, fill you up in all ways, right? Exactly. You couldn't wait. But what does that mean? Because all the men today are just bashed, right? All these bash men are getting young women because they just wanted it to feel good. Oh yeah, this and this, an image, so they can boast and this and that and that. Because truly, they have no idea what love is. Okay, no idea. To them, it's just about this, like it is for you. So, who knew? Who knew? Right? This is the same as this. Just many years have gone out and multiple frictions have occurred, but it's the same bash. Look at him, right? Void of truth, void of anything concerning the true promise, life everlasting with the Creator, with God. Who knew? But oh no, for the women, this is your God. Your husband or your boyfriend is your God. But no, to others it's like, no, I'm the goddess, and this bash better worship me. And no man deserves my love unless he ultimately worships me and no one else. Otherwise, I'm just some jealous, just skank, and it will turn into a beast. Wow, who knew? Amazing. But no, 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 it couldn't be. This person is just so artistic and talented and full of just, who knows, but leave her alone. And while still being poached and poaching others. Oh, right. And we young women think, ew, gross, old man. But no. Who knew that if this man gave that same girl that said, ew, man, ew, old man, baby. Who knew that if this man actually gave you attention, you would probably be like, oh, maybe I was wrong. Right? Exactly. And those women that actually go for these guys, right? No wonders. Who knew that that's just trauma? Because you're not gonna find a man that you know a man. Period. You're not gonna find a man. You found some bash that's gonna try to not offend you, make you feel good always, and this and that. Always just cater to some bash of feeling the state that you are when you are in full rejection of the unconditional love of the Father, which is, and you don't see it because your love is sometimes and is not sometimes. Wow, what a shame. What a shame. So keep up worshiping this bash, idealism, and keep philosophizing in your muse dreams of how this is going to be amazing and how we're going to recreate it because it's changed definitions over time. But we know better now. We know that America, doesn't mean what the so-called good place it is because we know all the suffering that's gone to make it what it is and this and this. So we just relentlessly hate and despise and resent the life that we have, all because we want to be right about what we say justice is and what right is and what wrong is and this or that. But we'll have to get rid of all the other bashed relative truths because we want to have a one world order. What's going on? Who knows? Right? You apparently just worship Alejandro. And look at all the uproar, right? Again, bashed. You love it. We'll end it there.